Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you being here. I thought today was a productive work day for us. Got to kind of continue to refine different things offensively, defensively. Continue to push the competition there in special teams, which I thought guys did a really good job. Had a very competitive, period, there for us today, in our special teams work. I liked how the guys responded with that. We got some good speed, third down, red zone situation. So I thought we had, we accomplished what we needed to accomplish here today. Just, continued push for growth from, individuals, fundamentals, technique, also, still big picture understanding of, what guys are being asked to do within different concepts, schemes, and just our efficiency is in operation. And we created some, even through this week, we tried to create some, a little bit more adversity for the offense, just with crowd noise and different dynamics of being able to work, operate, communicate, trying to make that as challenging as we could. I know it'll be a few weeks before we go on the road, but wanted to make sure we're really emphasizing that as well. So I thought it was, like I said, it was a productive last couple of days. Guys will have workouts tomorrow, and then get a few days off before we come back and jump into game week. With focus on Kent State. So that was good work.
Sorry, Brendan. When you have guys who, I know you take pride in the walk-on program that you guys have had. So when you have guys who work their way up the depth chart, I guess what does that say about the way you guys are developing people? What kind of dividends can that pay down the road?
Well, everybody's journey is unique to their own. And, some of the best players I've ever coached started as walk-ons. And, they were, for whatever the reason was, maybe they didn't run a good time when in high school, maybe they weren't as big, maybe there were some, different dynamics that, just wasn't, maybe they had smaller opportunities and wanted to have a little bit bigger stage. And, guys that have taken that path and you see the growth, you see the emergence, you see the, the sacrifices that they're willing to have, to go be what they desire to become. I mean, it is such a fulfilling story, and we don't treat a guy that pays his own way any different than guys that are on full scholarship and whatever the NIL world is nowadays. I mean, it is still they're here, they're sacrificing, they're pouring everything they have into the program to go make it better, and for them to grow. And we've had some guys that have really become critical, parts of this team and making a positive impact, helping us win.
With regards to punt returns, what have you thought of what you guys have done through 2 games, and how much are you looking at possibly other people there?
No, I mean, we had a penalty on Squirrel, had a 45-yard return. That Jalen had a big 20-plus yard return. In the last game, we've, in all reality, in the first 2 games we faced some challenges. Just we've had some really short punts where guys, you obviously want to field every ball, but in the first game we had a guy that comes in, averaging, I guess he was 47 yards at his previous school, and didn't hit the ball very well and was short, and we had mistake communication, decision making, just where we were. But I thought in the last game we got a couple opportunities, we're able to do some positive things, but there's also a couple 20-yard hits, and it's just hard to be able to get to some of those, based off of what we're expecting. So I've been pleased, with the opportunity that Squirrel and Jalen both got in the last game. Had some success in that, and we're going to continue to grow, with that group, and obviously have a couple other guys that we think got a chance to potentially help us there.
Did you got the younger offensive lineman in that game Saturday? Do you come away feeling any bit better about your options depth-wise, or was it about what you expected?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see, and I know I mentioned yesterday, it's good to see younger players or guys that maybe haven't got as many reps, just to see them go put positive things on film in the game. And that's where you can have a good practice, you can show some positive progression, but to be able to see it on game day definitely helps that. And then where do they go from here? And every day you get a chance to come out and compete, and you'll build upon what you've done. And I think that's necessary for those guys to grow and emerge and build the confidence in the coaching staff of what they can do and what it would look like. So, I was pleased with it, but want to see more progression.
We'll come back to Brendan. To get Jake Rizzi in his first action since return from injury and work at multiple spots in the game, I guess what did you see from him there, and then to have someone you trust at multiple spots?
Yeah, I mean, he's, like I said, I mean, he's a guy that, I think I said it last week. I mean, I view as a guy that can go in and, play at a very high level. And, to have his first game action, did some good things. There's still, some elements that, he's working to improve upon, just in cleaning up a few things, but really, really pleased with what he brings to this team, not just as a player, but I mean, he is a guy that's a leader within that offensive line group, and his versatility that, I mean, if something happens to really any of the five, I mean, he can go, be able to put us in a position to play at a high level. And so, I mean, he's continuing to grow in his confidence, and, excited about what's ahead for him this year.
Was wondering if you had any update on Ethan.
Yeah, I mean, nothing more than still he's progressing, but still a critical still in a critical state, and so but got to go see him on Monday for a short while, and talked to his dad this morning before practice, and I've been just staying up multiple times a day, just trying to stay connected, and just continuing to pray for him.
Were you aware that there was a arrest that made this morning, or you just finding it out?
We're grateful for all the work that's been done, with everybody involved, with the medical staff, with the police department, in their pursuit, and we're grateful for all things that have been done, in regards to helping with the situation with Ethan.
I think as media and fans, as we watch the college football landscape and some of the results early this season, maybe teams are not what we expected on both sides. Do you guys have to monitor that, like looking at your schedule later in the year? Are you guys already noticing the teams maybe not exactly what you thought, or is that not how you guys look at it?
Yeah, I mean, for us, I mean, we'll it's like even this week, we utilize bye weeks to be able to take a look at advanced opponents, but it's really more just, are there things that we want to take advantage of this week in being able to look at, to grow from, to maybe set a foundation, but there's so much that happens throughout the course of a year. That you might have an impression of what you think a team is, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't. You're going to be the team that you're going to be, and that's the focus with our guys. It was going into playing our last week opponent, and it's going to be the same thing going into bye week as in the next week, and then getting into conference play. I mean, it really has to be about us, and you're going to play really talented teams, and then sometimes you're going to play teams that you're more talented than. But if you don't go and do what you're supposed to do or do what you can do, then the results they're going to be whatever's been earned. And so that's kind of been our biggest message, and it's been our focus. But even as we look at things that could you'll be there in advance.
Justin?
I was just going to ask, is there anything that you continue to do to support Ethan and his family? I know you guys were to the stands this past weekend, but I just don't know if there's anything else.
Yeah, we're here with them, for them, and it's there's some there's a lot of layers in just the things that him and his family are just having to go through, and so just being as supportive as we can. I know that there's been a fundraising opportunity for the family to be able to continue to support, and I know that there's been a lot of people that have helped with that. Even I think some are players, and obviously organization staff, all of that. So just continuing to help and be able to fill the gap and need as much as we can.
All right, last one, Ira.
I just want to follow up on that topic and ask you about, do you think this is the new reality in terms of obviously you guys went through it the last few years, highs and lows. Seems like other teams are now going through that. Do you think if there is a revenue sharing cap and things like that, that'll solidify things, or do you think that the sport in general is going to be a lot of fluctuation?
You just mean like in the overall, what a team looks like? Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many levels to it. I think It's what a team looks like, the talent, the talent acquisition of what can come in, how much it can change. That's been for the last few years. What is the makeup of a team? What is all those different dynamics, within a locker room, outside a locker room, with, who's coming in to be a part of a roster. I mean, there's going to be huge fluctuations, in my opinion. I mean, you see that from teams that, even a couple of years ago, teams that weren't very good, the last year were really good. Teams that was really good, it was not worth a crap. So you see that all over the place when it comes to, I think, college football nowadays. But it's really, I think there's a lot of layers to how that becomes, and obviously something that we're all working through to try to put the best teams in place, and then continue to grow from there. And that's where for us, I mean, that you've seen the foundation of those young guys that we have, and their investment in this program, and even like I've said this, like the young guys that knew the challenge that there would be moving forward, but chose to say yes. And there's plenty of outside influences that are trying to tell them they need to go do something a little easier, or might be in a little bit better place at that time. But they said yes, and they put in the work, and I'm excited to see where that's going to go. And then you find the complementary you guys that can come in and help elevate the program and continue to move from there.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.